The boy slowly brought the rope near the wild wolf, then suddenly tied the wolf's mouth. He quickly wrapped it several times and tied a firm knot, letting it only be at people's mercy. But the boy didn't hurt the wolf. He carefully cleaned its wounds. Then, he settled the wolf in a cave. To conveniently care for the wolf's injuries, the boy slept less than a meter away from it that night. Who knew the next morning when Keita woke up, he discovered the wolf had untied the rope while he slept. It was baring its teeth at him. Keita was terrified and didn't dare move, but if the wolf really meant to hurt him, he would have died last night. Thinking about this, Keita gathered courage. He carefully brought clean water to the wolf's mouth. Seeing the wolf didn't resist, he leaned forward and gulped the water. Keita's anxious heart finally eased a bit. Because of an accidental injury, Keita got separated from his tribe. With no food, he could only eat insects to survive. But this meager protein was just a drop in the bucket for him. Not to mention this wolf beside him who desperately needed nutrition to recover from wounds. So Keita, who never killed living things, had to harden his heart. He captured a wild rabbit for the wolf. But just as he eagerly started to make a fire to roast it, the wolf's wild nature suddenly exposed. It took the chance to try to snatch the prey from Keita's hands. Seeing the wolf hadn't changed its nature, Keita viciously bit off a big chunk of raw meat as a warning, showing he was the owner of this prey. Facing the wolf's sudden provocation, Keita knew once he backed down, he'd completely lose control. He'd become this wolf's food. Fortunately, the fire-making finally worked at this moment. The rising flames solidified his position. Keita sat by the fire, eating the roasted meat by himself. The wolf beside him had lost its earlier fierceness. It even whimpered softly from time to time. After Keita finished eating, seeing the wolf completely back down, he threw over a piece of meat. This wasn't charity. This was Keita setting the first rule for their symbiotic relationship. He provided food and shelter. The wolf had to follow his rules. Keita thought the wolf had accepted him. That night he tried to get close, but the wolf remained wary and bared its fangs. The ice of trust had cracked, but completely melting needed time. Not long after, Keita's wounds gradually healed. After getting things ready, he prepared to head back to his tribe. He said goodbye to the wolf. When leaving, he prepared to take his scarf, but the wolf bit it tightly and wouldn't let go. Keita had to use great effort to get it back. The wolf stopped struggling. It just lay there obediently looking at Keita pitifully, its eyes full of reluctance and dependence. Keita wanted the wolf to return to its own wolf pack, but the wolf refused to budge. Helplessly, Keita set off alone. Who knew he hadn't gone far before the wolf quietly followed. This clever wolf knew that injured, it would have difficulty surviving, so it instinctively wanted to stay by Keita's side. Even though Keita repeatedly picked up sticks from the ground to drive it away, this wolf seemed to have already decided on him. No matter what, it wouldn't leave. Just as Keita didn't know what to do, the wolf suddenly ran in front of him. Keita, confused, followed it. He saw a herd of wild boar hiding at the foot of the mountain. Before he could react, the wolf rushed down the slope, driving the prey. This was a rare hunting opportunity in desperate times. But Keita, nervous and inexperienced, missed the chance. The wild boar scattered in panic. Looking at the fat that got away, the wolf's eyes were full of helplessness. Even though Keita tried to explain, the wolf wouldn't listen to him. Until Keita pulled out his last food and handed it over, the wolf hesitantly came closer and reluctantly accepted the feeding. After that, every time Keita fed it, he'd blow a whistle. Through long-term practice, the wolf would come to Keita's side the moment it heard the whistle. When a wolf was willing to be tamed, perhaps it had already opened its heart to humans. And since having Alpha's company, Keita no longer worried about food. One hunted, one cooked. They had hot food every meal. But that night, when the roasted meat smoke hadn't yet dispersed, a starving wolf found them following the scent. Keita immediately gripped his stick and stood ready. He looked up. Behind the hungry wolf was an entire patrolling wolf pack.